is Albert Welter. I'm in the East Asian Studies Department at the University of Arizona. My research field concentrates on Chinese Buddhism, particularly in the transition between the Tang and the Song dynasties. I'd like to thank the Tianzhu Foundation for inviting me here to the University of Ghent. It's my first time here, and I'm enjoying my stay here very much, and enjoying the wonderful colleagues that the University of Ghent has, some of whom I've known for some time, but it's good to reacquaint with them after a long period. I've given a couple of lectures here associated with my research. As I mentioned before, I study Chinese Buddhism primarily in the Tang and Song transition. And my feeling is that for many years, post-Tang Buddhism was overlooked in the study of Chinese Buddhism and the study of East Asian Buddhism. And the emphasis was on what was perceived to be the culmination in the Sui and Tang periods. So in the last few decades, this scheme has broken down, and people have started to look at post-Tang Buddhism, but it's still a field that's very much, I think, in its infancy, and there's a lot of work to be done. And in particular, I focus on the period in between the Tang and the Song, because I believe that this is the kind of the germinal period that's foundational for some of the aspects that come to characterize Buddhism in the Song. In Chinese history, of course, the Tang-Song transition is very well known, and everyone agrees that this is a major transitional moment in Chinese history. And even if we can't agree on what the meaning of what this significance is, everyone agrees that it was a major turning point, one of the three major turning points in Chinese history. You know, from the classical period to the Qin and Han dynasty, then the Tang to the Song, and of course the end of the Qing dynasty to the modern period. These are the three transitional moments in Chinese history, major transitional moments. So for about a millennium, the innovations that occurred between the Tang and the Song took root and influenced China for a long period of time, and of course were spread throughout East Asia, and this is my fascination. I particularly look at a kingdom in the Five Dynasties period. Five Dynasties it was in the 10 centuries. It was an interim period between the Tang and the Song dynasties, where five dynasties rose and fell in quick succession over a period of about 60 years or so. I concentrate on an independent kingdom to the south during that period called Wu Yue, which was centered on the capital city of Hangzhou. And it was during this period that I believe that Buddhism formulated, I should backtrack a little bit. It was during this period that monks who lived in the Wu Yue kingdom formulated some of the key aspects of Buddhism that would take root in the Song and become influential not only in China, but also as Hangzhou was a major trading point with Japan and Korea. Many of these innovations were spread eventually to those two countries as well. So Hangzhou I like to focus on as a kind of a hub and a nexus that included this triangular relationship with Japan and Korea and of course Hangzhou. And so that's why I emphasize the importance of Hangzhou in the Song dynasty and its impact on post-Tang Buddhism.